for over 40 years. I was the chairman for Congressman Bill Barrett, the chairman out here for Senator Chuck Hagel, and for Senator Mike Johanns. And now I have the privilege of being the chairman for a man I love, Pete Ricketts. So I have been involved, and I think what the governor said about being involved is so important, and getting other people involved, that is so very, very important. But I'm here this morning to talk about Jim Pillen and why my husband and I feel that he would be a good candidate for governor. Jim was born and raised in Nebraska. He and Suzanne have raised 4 children here. They have 7 grandchildren. He loves the state of Nebraska. As most of you know, out here, especially in the Panhandle, agriculture is our #1 industry. And Jim understands agriculture. And one of his main focuses is to help our farmers and ranchers. Jim is a businessman. He's a conservative. He's Christian. He has a deep faith in God, and he's pro-life. And about, several months ago, Jim came to our home, and he spent an hour with Marty and I talking to us, because we hadn't met or didn't know any of the candidates that were running for governor, and I know they're all very, very good people and want to help the state. But everything that Jim said was what Marty and I believe in and feel that we know and need for our next governor. And so Jim sent me a letter that he would like to have me read for you. And also, I want you to know, Marty and I are very, very supportive of Senator Deb Fisher and also Adrian. You know, Congressman Adrian's from here and we love him. So anyway, Jim's letter says, "Dear Scottsbluff County GOP, thank you for giving our campaign supporters the opportunity to speak on my behalf. I am running to be the next governor of Nebraska because I believe the next 10 years will be the most important in our state. I am a farmer, a businessman, a father of 4, and a grandfather of 7. I am a Christian conservative Republican. I am running on 4 pillars: property tax relief, agriculture, kids, and values. For decades, our state gave itself self-appointed budget increases of 6, 7, and 8% that have increased property taxes and devastated our rural community. We need to rein in spending and deliver property tax relief. I'm sorry. Agriculture is the lifeblood of our state. In Nebraska, we feed the planet and save the world. We need to grow agriculture to grow our state. The kids in Nebraska are our future. The kids all over are our future. I will fight to protect them against radical ideologies and promote patriotic education in our schools. Finally, values. I am a Christian, conservative, pro-life, pro-First Amendment, pro-Second Amendment, and for order at the border. We need a governor who understands, promotes, and fights in our Christian conservative values. And we have had that with Governor Ricketts. Thank you, and I hope I can earn your vote in this upcoming election. Best, Jim Pillen. And thank you very much for your time.
Brett Lindstrom was not able to make it. Ben Backus, please stand up. Ben is running for in case you guys wondered. And he is also the contact locally for the Lindstrom campaign.
Great.
So if you would like to speak with him about things, please let him know. Next on our agenda is Rod Edwards with the Herbster campaign. Now, the Herbster campaign spent a lot of time out here, so I'm sure most of you know the campaign, know the situation, And so anyway, but here's Rod.
Before the governor speaks out, tonight he's being honored by Douglas County Republican Party Hall of Fame members. So that's a great honor for the governor. So congratulations. The governor also said something important. He's been through some tough races, and we're going to have a tough governor's race this time around. But we all do have to come together and make sure we elect Republicans in November. And Charles is 100% committed to that. On May 11th, we will all come together as a party, as we should and as we do all the time. Thank you all for the opportunity. I've met most of you a few times. Charles has been out here several times, as Paulina said. I think this is fantastic. The turnout for this room. I get to talk to or be at a lot of the county conventions, and it's like this across the state, especially in the 3rd district. Republicans are fired up. Republicans want to get involved in their county parties. Republicans want to get involved in their elections. And I was really impressed with how many people stood up when Pauline asked who's running for office this year. That's incredible. We need to keep that stuff going on. Now, we are extremely blessed in the state of Nebraska. We have several good candidates for governor. Everybody's pro-life. Everybody's pro-Second Amendment. Everybody's pro-First Amendment. Everybody talks about order on the border and illegal immigration. Everybody talks about critical race theory. Everybody talks about all these issues. So everybody's pretty close on the issues with some differences. I think there are some differences on illegal immigration. I think there are some differences that have come out on critical race theory and leadership on critical race theory. But you ask yourself, what makes a candidate stand out among the others? Well, one of the things is something that Charles is being criticized for right now. How bold is your next governor going to be on tax policy? We absolutely cannot keep going down the road that we're going down in tax policy in this state and expect to be competitive with other states and grow our state. You look across the river to the east, Kim Reynolds just signed a flat tax bill that nobody thought she'd get through, but she got through. A 3.9% flat tax. We are falling behind all the states around us when it comes to tax policy, and that's hurting us when we're trying to recruit and grow businesses to Nebraska. Charles W. Herbster is going to be more bold about tax policy. He is willing to look at plans like the Epic tax. He is willing to look at consumption-based tax systems. He's willing to look at what's going on around us and taking the best of those. And lo and behold, he's being criticized on television right now, and they sound like liberals criticizing him. He's going to tax food. He's going to tax medicine. This is right out of the Democrat playbook. Governor Ricketts at one point in time was touting consumption taxes, and that's exactly what they criticized him for too. So I want you to think about that when you're considering that. There's one other really important thing, and most of you have a good idea of who all the candidates for governor are now. You should have met them. They should have been here. They should have talked to your group. In order to grow the state of Nebraska, we're going to have to attract businesses and people to our state. You're going to need a salesman. You're going to need somebody who can market the state of Nebraska. And I want you to think about all of the candidates running for governor right now. Tell me there's somebody in the race who's better than Charles W. Herbster at marketing and selling. Charles, endorsed by President Trump, and governor said, 2024, we need to elect a Republican. I've got somebody in mind to be our next president. And we're in the position where we get to vote or elect him for the 3rd time, too. So Charles learned from President Trump early on, and they've had a friendship since 2005. Charles learned from early on. He brands and markets everything. Everything you do, if you go to a Trump property, it's got Trump on it. Every single thing, because it's branding and marketing. And Charles wants to do that same thing for the state of Nebraska. Every product that we have here from the state of Nebraska that we ship or export to other states and work with other states on should be branded and marketed as from Nebraska. Our schools should be using Nebraska beef. Nebraska grown and processed beef, not beef from Brazil or other places. We need to do a better job of branding and marketing the state of Nebraska, and Charles is the exact right person for that job. Look at the other candidates and tell me he's not. And that's not a knock on the other candidates. This is just something Charles has done all of his life. And another criticism on Charles is he spends a lot of time outside of the state of Nebraska. Well, I tell you what, that's a strength. Because we cannot grow the state from within the state itself. We have to grow and market ourselves across the country. And Charles W. Herbster, whether it be as national chairman for the Agricultural and Rural Advisory Committee for President Trump, where he worked with lobstermen from Maine to vineyards in California, 500 people across the country to help shape and craft policy for President Trump and to help get him elected in 2016. He has those connections that he can rely on, that he can use to reach out for ideas and to help grow and market the state of Nebraska. And then also, you know, somebody asked, he was at CPAC. He had a speaking role at CPAC a few weeks ago. Somebody asked, why is he at CPAC? He's running for governor of Nebraska. Well, if you elevate our national presence, it helps the state of Nebraska. Look to the north, Governor Kristi Noem, national profile. And look at how her state has benefited from that. By the way, Kristi Noem has also endorsed Charles. We're proud of that. I have to point out, when we're talking tax policy, Senator Steve Erdman back here again, the governor pointed him out. He's the star of a new television commercial, by the way, and we're very proud to have Senator Erdman, Senator Brewer, Senator Halloran's endorsements as well. But so yeah, I want you to think about that though. Which governor really has a solid conservative core? Which governor has the ability to market and grow our state? And which governor is going to take us to the next level? And I hope that you come to the conclusion that Charles W. Herbster is going to be that governor. And I appreciate everything. Colleen, you guys do a fantastic job here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, God. He's so busy on the highway right now, he doesn't even know what county he's in most of the time. But
Usually know what day.
he does great. Okay. Next, we have a very special guest who just let me know yesterday that she was going to be here, and we are just honored. Her name is Kathy Wilmot, and she is running for regent. Now, for those of you who don't really understand that, her district is huge. Understanding kind of like the 3rd district, you know, Adrian's district, and yes, we all support Adrian. You know, we laugh because everybody's Congressman Bacon, Congressman Fortenberry, and Adrian. So anyway, I think it's a compliment. But anyway, we are bringing Kathy Wilmot here to give you a few words. She's running for regent because she doesn't like what's going on at the university. Who can applaud that?
Thank you, Colleen, and everyone that's here. It's a great pleasure to see people involved. I started out as a public school teacher, and I live at Beaver City, Nebraska with my husband, Wes. We have 3 adult children. Myself and 2 of our sons graduated from the university system, and so I started teaching in public school, and education was really different then. And some years later, as I saw what was happening with my children in school, I became very concerned about what was going on, and that eventually led me to a meeting in 1990 at the Holiday Inn in Grand Island, Nebraska. And at that meeting, then Deputy Commissioner Doug Christensen, not the man at the University of Nebraska Kearney, but a different one, he sat there and he told all about the standards he wanted to bring and the assessments he wanted to bring and how that was going to guide our curriculum and what our students were taught. And then he made a statement that just grabbed me. He said, "It'll be 20 years before we know if this thing works or not." Now think of that. You're willing to gamble 20 years of kids passing through our public schools, and you don't even know if the idea is going to work. And I'm going to tell you, it hasn't. We've had a lot of teachers retiring from the system because they don't even have time to teach anymore. They're too busy marching to all the mandates. So that got me really involved, and then we found a man out around this area. We talked him into running for the State Board of Education, and the night before the deadline, he called and said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spend time with my family. And I was heartbroken. I said to my husband, what are we going to do? The deadline is tomorrow. He said, I think you know what you have to do. I said, what? He said, file. So I did. It was the western portion of Nebraska. In fact, some of you may have actually voted for me a long time ago. And we were successful. We got on the State Board of Education, represented you for 8 years. And then the 3rd year, the teachers union really took us down. They spent about $40,000 and we lost by 15 votes. But that's kind of how it goes. It takes all of you people to help individuals who are willing to get up there and risk themselves to run for office. But during that time, I know somebody said earlier, everybody's pro-life, everybody's pro-gun, everybody's pro-constitution when they're running for office, right? And then sometimes you watch what happens later and you're thinking, man, that's a different person. But anyway, I want to tell you just one little example of my 8 years on the State Board of Education to kind of give you a picture of who I am and how determined I am. As I looked at my agenda one day, I saw a federal grant talked about some free money coming to our state. Oh, it's quite a chunk. And of course, free money, it's my tax dollar, there is no free money. And so I said, can I have a copy of that grant so I can read it? Because see, when there's an agenda item for a board member, you ought to be looking a little deeper than that little sentence or two on your agenda. There's a lot there. So I asked for a copy of the grant and I read it and I saw a couple things that really got my interest. One was Center for Disease Control. That's a red flag right there. The other was the name of a curriculum called Can We Talk? So I asked the department, do you have that curriculum? They said, yes. I said, may I take that home and study it? Yes. So I go home, I'm sitting at my kitchen table a few evenings later, and all of a sudden I said, it's the teacher's manual. I said, Wes, listen to this. And in that manual, it was telling the teacher she needed to bring condoms to the classroom. They needed to be all colors, all flavors. And I said, then she was supposed to have them open them up, pull them up their arm, and know that they fit all sizes. And I told him, I said, you know, the State Board of Education needs to have this lesson. He said, do it. I said, I can't do that. But when it came meeting time, I was in Lincoln buying condoms. And I took them to the state board meeting, and when it came to that agenda item, I went around with my little sack. I passed out my little goodies to everybody, including the commissioner and the attorney for the department. And I want you to know, not one person would pick those up off the table or touch them. And so I taught the lesson to them. Of course, I couldn't make them open the package and pull them up their arm, but I told them, you know, if I finish this lesson the way the teacher says, this is what you would do. I go back around, and by then my knees are knocking, I can't hardly breathe. I know my face is as red as that jacket back there. And I went around to my chair. I managed to sit down without falling down. And one of the board members, who usually was on the opposite side of issues, looked down the table and she said, Kathy Wilmot, how could you do this to us? And my answer to her was, how do you do it to fourth graders? But see, that's often what you need to do when you're on a board. You've got to help people see exactly what it is they're recommending. Half of them don't study it, half of them don't know. And that's a board member's job in my book. So that's how determined I am. When I say that I'm pro-life, pro-constitution, and all these things, and that I'm a conservative, I am a conservative. And I didn't change my colors on 8 years of the board. I'm not going to. But on the Board of Regents, I'm concerned. I want education. Because, you know, those kids are leaving our high schools. They're going on. They think they're preparing for a profession. And I want them to have education, not indoctrination. And that's much of what's happening now. I also heard a news report on March the 2nd on Nebraska TV. And they were talking to a curriculum specialist from Grand Island Public Schools. And I'm about out of time, right?
Yep. Sorry.
And she said, teachers are not coming to us now with the skills they need to do the job. And that's a crime. And that's something that I would like to look at, work on, and represent you and the needs of our Western Nebraska. Thank you.
I'm privileged to serve on the State Central Committee Executive Committee with Kathy. She is a bulldog. That is wonderful, no pun intended. Okay, so next, we have a very important person speaking next. And if you don't think so, you're wrong. County Clerk Kelly Sides.
Thank you for having me. So I wanted to go over a process of what starts an election, and it begins with making sure we have polling places available. We start doing that probably in December, waiting for answers. in January, all the cities, villages, they let me know what offices are up for reelection. If they are a partisan vote, if it is a nonpartisan vote, how many people need to be voted for that board. So this is collected so that we can also add that to getting the ballots prepared. The same day of the deadline for the political subdivisions is January 5th, which is also the new beginning date for candidate filings. It used to start in December, and then there was a matter of extra paperwork candidates needed to file with the state, and this just kind of puts everything together with a nice start date. We log who runs for office, what day, what time, as it determines the very beginning ballot, the order of names put on the ballot. And you need to, with every precinct, there is a name rotate, so the first candidate filing will be on first precinct, the first line, and from there it rotates through. We have 29 precincts now. I did combine one down from 30, and from there I also published what offices are up for election. The state keeps their running log of what's filed with their office. There is the notice of election, notice of primary election, listing everything that will be on the ballot. It does not matter if you will see it necessarily on your ballot. And all of the 3 commissioners that are running for office, we all know we don't all get a vote for them. They are in our district here in Scottsbluff County, but they are the individuals running for office. From there, I am proofreading our paper ballots and proofing them again, and then I am having someone check my work, and then I'm proofing them again. So our ballots have been ordered, and as the governor stated, early voting does begin April 4th. The paper ballots will be shipped to my office starting April 4th so that I can have them ready for the people that have requested by mail. And a week after that, you can start voting in my office, early vote. Or you can wait till election day and go to the polls. I think I covered everything and I do need poll workers if you guys can help me out. An ideal election board would be 5 people. Right now I need 145, and at count with no one becoming ill or not being able to do it, we're only at 102 people, so get the word out for me. I'm on Facebook, and I've been making the public comments so that they can be shared to let people know. Contact my office so we can get you trained. Thank
you. Do it. I mean, that's a good way to get
All 93 counties
started.
have paper ballots, yes?
All 93 counties have paper ballots.
Okay, next on the list is someone named Colleen Woodward running for Gearing School Board. I am currently a substitute at Gearing High School. I have been for 7 years. At the time I joined forces at Gearing, we had just sent 3 people to service academies, had no alternate schools. People were afraid to go to the principal's office. Cell phones were a problem. Chromebooks weren't an issue. And it was a fun place to be. Now, we don't have anybody that will qualify for a service academy, and we have 3 alternate schools for kids who don't care. We have cell phones that literally are a huge problem. They're addicted. We have Chromebooks, and the kids will tell you, good kids will say, cheating, it's just too easy. I do it because, I'm busy. I think we need to change a lot of this. The teachers are leaving Gearing High School like rats from a sinking ship. Central office, I'm not going to say administration because I don't believe that's the problem. I believe it's central office has a problem of treating teachers like chattel property. And the teachers are tired. So we're getting rid of good teachers in lieu of bringing in those things that Kathy mentioned about those uneducated people coming out of college to teach. I don't think that's a good idea. So I sort of was like Kathy. I looked at my husband and said, I think you should run for school board, and he laughed. And then we had Elizabeth Tagmeyer, and she came and talked about how important it was to run and all the 14,000 miles she's put on her car, and I realized Gearing's really not that big. And I filed to run for office. So, I want to see Gearing great again. I haven't used that as a slogan because Democrats vote too, but you know, make Gearing great again. And so, I appreciate it. Okay, next on the list is Eric Ferguson, candidate for Scottsbluff City Council.
Hello, my name is Eric Ferguson, and as you just heard, and I was born and raised in Scottsbluff, lived here for most of my life. I decided to run for Senate Council because I'm tired of seeing all this woke agenda and liberal agenda infiltrating our schools, and even, you know, you wouldn't even think about it coming into play. But I'm a military veteran too. I spent a decade in the military. I have some Coast Guard. Besides the Army, I have some Coast Guard auxiliary time, and I went to school for a time in the University of Nebraska, and then I continued on with the military and got stationed in Fort Meade, Maryland, and I graduated from the University of Maryland with a bachelor's degree. But I was out east quite a bit, and I tell you what, Nebraska is so much better than the East Coast, right? You know, those blue states, there's something else. They even have a rain tax in Maryland, by the way. And Governor Wolf from Pennsylvania, he's like a dictator, you know. And when the mandate came around, it was one of the pandemic, and they had to push all these mandates down there. You couldn't even visit a restaurant. I couldn't even celebrate my 60th birthday, you know. But I was also, when I was young, I was raised on a farm on the Lake Minnetonka. So I love Scottsbluff, and that's why I came back here. But I'm not happy with some things I see. I go to the city council boards quite often, and you can actually watch them on YouTube too. They have a YouTube tank, and you can see what's going on. I really don't think that they review things very often. They kind of like do a quick vote and they're on, not doing a lot of studying. And with the candidates that are running for city council, as far as I know, I'm the only conservative running. So there's other people that say they're conservative, but I could tell you, I am conservative. I've did a lot of you know, helping people with other campaigns when I was out and about. But I would appreciate your vote. I have signs back there you can take with you. And I have some literature over there too. If you have to play an issue or something like that, I'd like to scribble it down on a note over there and lay it down for you. I will be a person who is interested in the citizens of Scottsbluff for sure. So I'm not into this for myself. I'm into it for the citizens. So I'm not like kind of a power hungry people. I think there's some people on the council that like that power, but I'm not that way. I will stand for the citizens of Scottsbluff. And I agree with, Kathy Wilmot and Colleen. I appreciate Colleen. You know, she works hard to run this organization here, and she's by herself a lot, so, you know, couldn't have that. So I will be, very active with you too in the future here, so, like I said, if you have, something that needs to be addressed, please bring it to me. I'm not afraid to, stand up to liberals. I've been to a lot of things in Washington DC. I used to work in Washington DC, by the way, and it's a rat hole. Yeah, it is. But I thank all the candidates that came here to run for office. That's what we need to do, really. We need to not sit on sidelines anymore. We are being run over by this such agenda by the left and all kinds of activists. So we just have to take our stand, say no, and had enough of it, and vote all the Democrats out. Thank you very much.
I'm not alone. I got a really good team. I got a lot of people helping me. And the number one person that helps me in more ways than one is my husband, Kevin. Next on the list, we got a couple more here before our business. We have Kevin Stalker. He is running for Public Service Commission. I think he wins the sign award. Just saying.
He's got it everywhere.
Thanks, Colleen. I really appreciate the warm welcome. And yeah, I think we're doing well in the sign board. But that's because I have a team around me, a team of supporters. And I want to speak to those people today. I want to recognize a lot of the people in this room. I'm going to throw away the typical campaign rhetoric cards that I've been speaking to. Well, let's just throw them down. The governor threw my card on the floor, so I might as well try it. Anyway, there's some people in this room that I would like to recognize. One is Senator Steve Urban. When I came to Lincoln to register, Steve opened his office and took me around and introduced me to influential people that will help me get elected. Another person, Terry Jessup. Terry took me around the Capitol, pointed me in the right directions, and we got filed successfully and met a bunch of people. Kelly Sides. Had a lot of questions. I am a novice to politics, so Kelly has answered a lot of stupid questions. No stupid questions?
They're not so.
Okay, well, thanks. And she's very knowledgeable of her position. She's good. Early on into this, Elizabeth Tegmeyer and I were, I'm getting a little emotional. Elizabeth Tegmeyer and I were at school for candidates. Now, we both discussed what has happened since. I think we've both been very successful. She is the hardest working candidate I've ever met. She has a big district and she will travel to talk to a lot of people. Or 3 or 4. And I want to recognize my wife, Mary. This has been hard. This was not going to be what retirement looked like. Sorry about that. Okay, so most of you in this room know me, so I'm not going to talk about me all that much. I'm going to talk about issues that the Public Service Commission is going to face in the next 6 years. The governor and I had a good discussion this morning, very informative. There is a lot of money coming out for broadband expansion, And that is earmarked for unserved and underserved areas. That describes the 5th District of the Public Service Commission. When we drive across the 51 counties, over 2/3 of the state is the 5th District. The only one to have a larger district to cover is Congressman Smith. And he does a good job. He has been excellent representative for Western Nebraska and the 3rd District as a whole. Another thing, when I got into this, I said, wow, that's a big district. How do you get your name out? Well, I was in the transportation industry and I've been on a number of boards for a long time. I have a lot of friends that have stepped forward and have helped. The reason I'm winning the sign war is people like Steve Erdman. In fact, Steve was pounding T-posts the other day on my behalf. I have people in central Nebraska that have pounded T-posts. If you're going down I-80, there's no other candidate that has more 4x8 signs down I-80. I have amazing friends that volunteered their property on my behalf. Okay, so let's talk about broadband. Broadband expansion is a major issue across Nebraska. There is going to be literally possibly $1 billion coming to the state from the feds. And I am going to be the voice that is going to get my 1/5, which is the most underserved. I'm gonna yell about it and I'm gonna stomp my feet and I'm gonna pound on the desk saying the 5th District has been ignored too long. Okay, that's broadband. The other issues are transportation. There's some transportation issues that are close to my heart because Mary and I have been in the transportation business for 20 years. We have retired recently from that, and there are some things at the commission that really have been overlooked for a long time. I intend to put some teeth into that and get these regulations reinforced. 1 second. Let's talk about the keys. Well, I'm sorry, I got too emotional. Let's talk about the Keystone XL pipeline. Anybody know about that?
Open it back up.
What do you think about that?
Get it back.
That is the major thing that I'm hearing about as I'm out talking to people. I will tell you that that is the driving force behind my candidacy. I believe that pipelines are the safest means to transport any liquid long distances. We could be getting 850,000 barrels of oil from a friendly trading partner. The big lie was told that this was only Canadian tar sands. That's not true. The pipeline was routed through eastern Montana and western North Dakota and South Dakota to pick up oil off of the Bakken Formation and transport it across the country and down to the Gulf Coast. Who I'm running against, the incumbent, was a no vote on the Keystone XL. I pledge to you, I am going to be a yes vote when it comes before our desk. This is not only for cheap gas, this is for national security. Appreciate your vote.
Our next guest, the last time he spoke to our group, got preempted and bumped by Kellyanne Conway. For those of you who remember when Kellyanne Conway was here, he said he didn't mind that it was fun. Anyway, Charlie Napper has been our county commissioner, and he would like to continue to be our county commissioner.
Sorry, I have to correct you. It's for everyone in the crowd. It's Knapper. The K is not silent. It happens more time than not. So.
I'm Colleen instead
Colleen.
of Mike. I get
Sorry.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so my name's Charlie. I'm running for county commissioner in District 3. So a lot of you folks don't live in my district, so I need you to call your friends that live in Gering, tell them to vote for Charlie. I'm running for re-election. I was elected 4 years ago to my first term. I've worked hard at the job. I've taken the job seriously. I have been elected by the Panhandle District Association, which is made up of 11 Panhandle counties and their elected officials. I was elected by them to be the Panhandle District Association Vice President, and now I've been the President for 2 years in a row. That association also elected me to the Nebraska Association of County Officials Board of Directors. We call that NACO. That board works to lobby the state legislature for conservative values, help keep property taxes low. And then that board put me on the National Association of County Officials, also called NACO. They put me on the National Board Telecom and Technology Steering Committee. That steering committee is working to get broadband to rural America. So they lobby the Congress to give that money to the Public Service Commission. So those are some things I've done to go above and beyond my role as a county commissioner. So I have taken the job very seriously. A few things we've done on the conservative side of things is thanks to Ben Backus prodding me along, we passed the Second Amendment Sanctuary Resolution to make Scottsbluff County a Second Amendment Sanctuary County. At the same time, the state legislature was trying to enact the red flag laws. So if your wife's having a bad day, she can call the sheriff and tell him to take your guns away. There's no due process to that. So anyway, we got that resolution passed. Morrow County was the first county to do that. I got the resolution from Jeff Metz, the commissioner over there. We changed the wording to say Scottsbluff County. We got it passed in Scottsbluff County. 89 other counties followed suit. We were the second county to do it. Morrow County was the first county to do it. 89 other counties followed suit. A year later, the governor made the entire state a sanctuary state. So this is one of the few times that a partisan issue has come up, filtered up from the bottom, from the counties to influence the decision the governor made. So we also passed a 30 by 30 resolution stating that Scottsbluff County will not comply with any Biden administration attempts to put land into conservation. 4 years ago, I campaigned that the county jail was mismanaged, that Stiegel Road needed to be a priority, and that I would be able to find efficiencies at the courthouse and the administration building to make better use of taxpayer monies. So 4 months after I started, the director of the jail and 2 other top administrators there had resigned. We placed the sheriff in charge. The jail used to lose about $1 million a year on top of what was budgeted for them. So they were borrowing, not borrowing, they never paid it back, but they were taking from the inheritance tax fund, and that's how they balanced the budget at the jail. Last year, the sheriff underspent his budget authority by almost $400,000. So the sheriff is doing an amazing job running that jail for us. The commissioners, we also sit as a board of corrections, and so it's our job to hire the director of the jail. The sheriff has done all the heavy lifting. We just made the decision to put the sheriff in charge. When I took office, we found out that about 80% of the IT infrastructure was past end of life and very vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks, like cyber attacks, that kind of stuff. So it would have been about an $800,000 outlay to purchase all new IT infrastructure, or at least replace the stuff that needed to be replaced. And then we would have that recurring cost every 5 to 7 years. And so what we did is we flattened that curve. We went and we leased space from the Bytes data center. We now share that space with multiple other counties in the Panhandle, and so that's one way that we're saving money there. I've ran out of time. Please go to my website, charlieknapper.com. You can donate to my campaign there, and you can learn more about what I've done in the last 4 years. And please call your friends in here and tell them to vote for Charlie.
Okay, so thank you all for speaking. They've all done a nice job. Sorry, I don't look anything like Kellyanne Conway, so I don't know. Okay, so we we've got the candidate part of our convention out of the way. So for those of you with a packet, you need to turn to the Constitution. Now, we've been looking at this for months. Most of you have had this for months. Most of you have looked at this. So we are going to approve this unless somebody has an objection. Now, you get to vote if you are a registered Republican in Scottsbluff County. If you are a registered Republican in Morrill County, you cannot vote. However, we do appreciate Steve Erdman. He comes to our county stuff a lot. Even learned people go, isn't Steve Erdman your, no. Okay, so, does anybody have any objections right off the bat? Do you want me to read it? No. Nobody wants to go through the, really? It's pretty straightforward. Okay. So I will need a motion to accept the Constitution as written. Motion second. Seconded by Talon. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have approved our Constitution. I want to give credit. My pen is like Tigger. I want to give credit to my colleague, Carol Friesen in Lincoln County, because she put hours into coming up with county constitution. So, next, we have officers for the party. Officers for the party. Okay, we kind of do this in a weird way. Anybody want to be chair other than me?
Could you tell us who they currently are?
Currently, I am the chair. John Goodman is our secretary, treasurer. John and his wife take care of the finances, and I really don't pay attention on purpose because that's why they take care of it. So anyway, that is currently. John, are you interested in stepping up again for treasurer or secretary?
If somebody else wanted to do one of them.
One of those, yes. And we do need separate codes. That position should not be dual.
No.
So we do need those. But as chair, I have been chair since 2016. I am interested in continuing to be chair if you would have me. I am currently on the State Central Committee and the State Central Executive Committee. I have both of those, requires a lot of trips across the state. Fortunately, our daughter lives in Omaha because they usually put these meetings centrally located in Omaha. Somebody down there needs to give the legislature a map. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so anybody else want to run for chair? Okay, so I will need a motion. Neil.
I move that you remain chair.
Neil moves. I remain chair. Need a second.
Second.
Second. All in favor by aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I will continue to do my very best. So thank you for your vote of confidence. We need someone to run for vice chair. I need a vice chair. I don't have a vice chair. According to the Constitution, can I appoint a vice chair? Come on, guys. Somebody step up to be vice chair. Joanne Smith will step up to be vice chair. Anybody else? Okay, we need a motion. Talon motions. Bob second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Joanne Smith is our vice chair. We need a secretary. Who wants to be a secretary? It's not that complicated. Somebody step up and be secretary.
Even
Kayla, you be our secretary for Scottsbluff County. She is awesome, guys. You know all the people, all the little grunt work that goes on behind the scenes? This is the woman that does it. She's a senior at Mitchell High School. I need a motion.
I motion.
Motion. Charlie seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Opposed? Kayla Suttles. I'm not sure Robert's Rules of Order would love the way we do this, but we're kind of okay. Anybody FFA in the crowd? Okay, John would continue being treasurer.
So moved. Second.
Neil moves, Charlie seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, John is our treasurer. Awesome. So we have a full slate. That is terrific. Okay, next on the list, SEC committee man and committee woman and their duties. Okay, I want you guys to turn in your packets to duties of state central committee members. Now, as you know, in redistricting, which I want you to know was an absolute battle for any of you who were at the state central committee where we battled over the redistricting. The 3rd district lost a representative. Okay? We have been battling. Fortunately, we only lost one. The Lincoln and Omaha people wanted us to lose 3. So while we lost one, we didn't lose 3. So that's the good news. If you are chosen to be a SEC member, you are expected to attend all 3 state central committee meetings. Again, centrally located, generally speaking, in Omaha. Sometimes they're in Lincoln, occasionally Norfolk. They pride themselves on Norfolk. They think somehow that's like really close. State this year is way out west, folks. Kearney. Yeah. Okay, so you will be responsible for all fees associated with these trips, including hotel, travel, and meals. I know with the price of gas, that is crazy. I understand that is crazy. This is your life's fortune sacred honor moment. We need people to step up and be willing to give this. This is your life, your time, your fortune, your money and gas, literally, and your sacred honor, the fact that you are willing to serve. So, we need a committee man and we need a committee woman. They meet 3 times a year.
Because you're already one.
I am actually the representative because I am the county chair. So I am not one. And this used to be, we used to be our own district. Scottsbluff County, it was really easy. I didn't have to care what anybody else did. No. I now am in charge of 2 counties who actually don't have representation, which would be Banner County and Kimball County. At the state central committee, we will be coming up with who will be the representative. Chances are, since both of those counties are not structured, it will be me to be the representative for this district. Which again, I am privileged to do. I'm on the state central committee, executive committee. So that will be voted on by those of you who signed up with Kelly to be part of the state convention in July. So that will be decided. So we just need those 2 positions other than mine. Long answer. Bob, be a committee man? Awesome. Bob Rose is willing to be a committee man. Okay, alternative. Alternate?
That's fine.
Kevin will be our alternate. So Bob can't go, Kevin can go. Awesome.
My wife
I need
really
a-
liked that.
Yeah, I'm sure she likes those trips across the state. Okay, I need a motion. Talon motions, second.
Second.
Ron? Okay, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, so we have our committee man. Committee woman. We need a committee woman and an alternate. You can't, no, we don't do that, we're Republicans. Thanks, Scott. Scott was going to dress up as a woman, be our committee woman. Appreciate it, taking it to the team. Anybody need a committee woman?
When's the meeting in July?
State's already scheduled, so that's not important. The meetings will probably have one in the fall and a couple next spring.
You said there was one in July.
That's the state.
Oh.
State convention, and those have already been signaled. We've already signed up for those. That's next on the list. This is for the actual meetings that are 3 times a year. Didn't know who would be willing to do that and have an alternative. What? You want to do that? You want to be the alternate?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have an alternate. Do we have anybody who's willing to step up? We need a woman. Sorry, we're Republicans. It's got to be a woman too. That's chromosome. We can define a woman. We know what those are.
Are you a biologist?
I had a student ask me why that mattered. I said Title IX. Okay, anybody? We need a woman. Come on, guys. We can get out of here quick if somebody steps forward. Are we holding this up?
we find a different alternate, I will be the person.
Okay, so she will be our committee woman. We need an alternate. We don't actually have to have an alternate to get out of here. I will let you go with that one. Lynn Reuter will be our alternate. Awesome. Okay, I need a motion.
Yep.
Scott, Bob, all in favor, say goodbye by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, awesome. Thank you all for stepping up on that. That was terrific. Okay, we have delegates for the state convention, and that is July 8th and 9th, I believe, in way out west, Kearney. Okay. We have Diana, Kayla, me, Kevin, Neil, Joanne, John Goodman, Jerry Goodman, Marilyn Engelman, Steve Engelman, Ron Lukens, and Steve Suttles. So what we will do is we will have 8 of those. That is chosen by how many of us voted for Trump in the 2020 election. Probably a very sure. So we will have 8 of us going. If we want 8 voting members, so that's why we have extra. We have
Read that
alternates.
list again, would you?
Diana, I'll have you guys stand up so you guys can see who these people are. Diana, Kayla, me, Kevin, Neil Smith, Joanne Smith, John Goodman. His wife Jerry is not here today. She probably had to work. Marilyn, Steve, Ron Lukens, and Steve Sells. This is your committee. You will be sending the state, and then we'll have alternates. So
Okay.
people can. These people will be voting. I don't think you'll have anybody else to vote for. Maybe voting me as representative for the district and for Scottsbluff County. But we have to do that at state because we are no longer our own district. Yeah, I know. It's great. Okay. Review of delegates to state convention. We will be getting information to you. I have your emails. We'll be sending that to the state party. State party will be sending you an email with all kinds of information on it. And that is what happens there. You are responsible for getting there and for your hotel. It's in Kearney, so it should only be one night. They're usually done by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it'll be a Friday night and a Saturday. Upcoming events. There's something going on May 10th.
Oh.
The primary. Guys, the primary is huge. Huge. Like Governor Ricketts said, please grab 9 of your friends and make sure you vote. You really do. Yes, Kelly.
We are the 3rd worst in Nebraska for voter turnout.
Oh,
Wow.
let's change that.
Consistently.
Oh, that's awful.
So, get out the vote.
Thank you.
Yes. Neil.
I would like to comment, if it says vote for 3 and you really want one of them, just vote for one. Don't cast 2 other ballots for somebody that you don't know or don't care is in office.
Yes. We will be putting together the sample ballot. We will be getting that from Kelly, and we will be putting that out there so that you can see who's on there and if there's anything hinky, because we don't want anything hinky coming on there. You know, constitutional amendment to do this, and you go, what? We're not going to be doing that. So we will get a sample ballot out to you guys before the primary so that you can, and that'll be in the emails. If everybody in here is signed up for our emails, you'll be getting that in your email. We'll also be putting that on our Facebook page and on our website. You guys know we have a website, scottsbluffgop.com. Okay? Also, Kayla is over here. If you have not signed in, please sign in. We do have to send to the state who came to the convention. If you want to just put in some money for the tip jar, that is to pay for this room rental and to pay Becky Suttles. Where did Becky go? She's over here. She was the one that fixed all the goodies. Also on there is to sign up for next week's Constitution class. I will be coaching that. It's going to be at Calvary Memorial Church Friday night. We have pizza coming at 5, class starting at 6 to 9. Saturday morning, 8:30 is breakfast. And then class will be 9 to 4 with a working lunch. Lunch is provided in your $15 fee. So that's only for $15 fee. And you sign up there, I get you the link, you just register, and you get an online free workbook. So that's what's going on, yes.
Do you need to be both sessions?
No.
Friday night and Saturday,
No,
or the same
come when
thing?
you can, come when you can. Some of you can only come on Saturday, that's great. Some of you can only come Friday night, that's great. You're still gonna be getting that 30,000 foot view of the Constitution that we talked about. So yeah, bring your Boy Scouts too, we'd love to have them. Okay, so there's a sign up for that as well. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Our next upcoming event, okay, of course, is the primary, Tuesday, May 10th. After that, we are the Scottsbluff County Republicans, so our May meeting will be at Reds in Mitchell. Okay, so come early so you can grab your food, you can have some supper, and we'll be having a meeting at Reds, 6 o'clock. That'll be in your emails. County or state convention in July. We will be having a joint Republican Party convention of states. We will be having that sometime this summer. Kayla's interning with Convention of States, so we will be putting that together sometime this summer, big barbecue. So you can get your questions answered about Article 5. Any other business to come before the county?
But there's a real push to get rid of electoral college.
Yes.
That I think we need to address.
Yes, we need to address that. Guys, Electoral College, sign up for my Constitution class. We talked about why the Electoral College is so important. Because you vote, your state votes. Without the Electoral College, 2 places are gonna decide every election, and that's gonna be New York and California. So you don't want that to happen. Electoral College, huge, huge, huge. Another thing, when you are discussing things with gubernatorial candidates, you want to make sure you ask them how they feel about the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment protects states from federal overreach. And they need to know their 10th Amendment. They need to know their Constitution. That's one of the questions we ask on our questionnaire. When was the last time you took a Constitution class? Because that's very important. Many of you have taken my Constitution class. Of course, I'm kind of partial to that one. But anyway, so that is really important that we hold them accountable. The Constitution is the law of the land, and it needs to be. So yes, that needs to happen. Any other business?
Anybody who wants to go for the Epic?
Anybody who wants to go to the Epic fun road trip with Scott at 3 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
You'll be able to sleep. You won't have to rubber.
We've seen how you drive, Scott. I'm not sure they want to do that. Anybody else? Mingle with the candidates, guys. We have the place for another 20 minutes, and then we'll start cleaning up. Anybody who wants to put chairs away and vacuum, great. So anyway, but we'll be cleaning up. Please mingle with the candidates. We have a number of them. Again, candidates, please stand up so people can see who you are. We got light blue. I will entertain a motion. Anybody want to make a motion for adjournment? Second.
Yep.
Second. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
We have